Hello everyone. I wanted to make this video because I'm sick and tired of all the toxicity that's coming out from Netflix, the season 3 The Witcher. Now I've got quite a few points to point out here. First of all, as you can see, I've got Regis' character info put out here. Now, I'm going to skip the first part of the sentence, but Regis, a higher vampire, an old friend. Here I must explain that years ago Regis had joined Geralt's band to follow travelers, of which I was proudly a part of. Now, whenever you are reading the books and so on and so forth, Geralt has told Dandelion everything that has happened. So when you play the games or read the books, it's actually from Dandelion's point of view. It's part of the half a century of poetry. So what we actually are playing or hearing is from Dandelion's perspective, that has been told to him from characters like Geralt or so on and so forth. Now, to carry on, after the Q of Thanedd, you've got the battle that is portrayed in the Netflix series. In the books, it's actually the North mages versus the South mages. In other words, all the mages that have allied themselves with Nilfgaard, that's what the southern mages are. The northern mages are all the mages that have aligned themselves with the four kingdoms of the north. So Kedwin, Redania, Temeria, and so on and so forth, with the one exception of Kavir being neutral. So if you look at it from the World War II's point of view, Kavir is essentially Switzerland. They were neutral. Now, what I'm trying to get at is, many people are complaining that Netflix is putting on a feminine point of view on all the books. But if you did your research on where the author of the books actually grew up, he grew up in Poland. What initially happened back then is, once the World War II had ended, majority of all the men were killed. So all the women had to leave their woman roles. So they had to give up being housewives and so on and so forth. They had to take more of a male-orientated role. Henceforth, why in that time period there were so many powerful woman figures, which transferred to the author's fantasy novels and so on and so forth. So this is why majority of the characters in the Witcher novels are all strong female characters. Yes, it may be called The Witcher, but the Witcher books are actually more about Ciri than the actual Witcher. For an example, in the Sword of Destiny, Matter of Price. No, I mean the Last Wish, The Matter of Price. That short story is the longest short story in that book. In the Sword of Destiny, the next time you hear about Siri, that story is actually called The Sword of Destiny. It is the longest story in The Sword of Destiny. Then you come to The Blood of Owls. Whenever there's a Siri chapter, it's always the longest chapter. It's always one of the longest chapters in the books. And it carries on with the Time of Contentment, Baptist of Fire, Tower in the Swallow, and Lady of the Lake. For instance, in Time of Contentment, the tower that Siri actually goes through, it basically translates from the Alvan language to, well, our language as swallow. And Siri's Alvan name is Zirel, which actually means swallow. So there's that. Now, Geralt in the books isn't supposed to be incredibly good looking or hot. So initially when I first heard that Henry Cavill was going to be playing Geralt, I was not really thrilled, because I thought the ideal person to play Geralt of Rivia would have actually been the person or the actor that played Grindelwald in The Secrets of Dumbledore. Secrets of Dumbledore. He just, to me, would have been a much better pick. Now, when we look at casting for certain characters and that, a skin color isn't really brought in to the description. It's always a description of like hair, eyes, or a scar, or so on and so forth, with the exception of Fringilla, because Fringilla sort of looks a bit like Yennefer, to the point that Garrett actually calls her Yennefer quite a few times. So there's that. So in other words, I'm trying to put a stop to the toxicity that The Witcher, even though it's called The Witcher, it's more of a story of Ciri. The reason why there are powerful woman figures in the show is because if you read the books, majority of the powerful figures in the books are all female, with the exception of maybe Vengerfords. So there's that. And the reason why the people made such a big deal about the actress that plays Desire and her death was, many people don't actually realize it, but the actress that plays Desire actually voices Anna Henrietta. I bet you guys didn't really know. That. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and thank you for hearing me out.